Adoatv, bringing good things to life.
Wednesday, 27th day in May 2020. We're live from digital address GA2260733. Good to come to your homes with another edition of AM News right here on Adoatv Television. My name is Nanyima Collins, and let's move straight to our top stories making headlines. The virus is here to stay. This is coming from Dr. Bedusa Akodie, and Ghana's confirmed cases now stands at 6,964. Parliament commemorates AU Day. We have these and many more coming up shortly. Please do stay with us. We're streaming live on Facebook. You may want to join us with your thoughts and comments. Let's settle for the details now. The Public Health Director of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Bedusa Akodie, has disclosed that the novel coronavirus is here to stay as long as we are yet to discover a vaccine. Speaking in a press briefing earlier yesterday, Dr. Bedusa Akodie said COVID-19 pandemic is still ongoing worldwide after Ghana moved from preparedness to rapid response. The virus is here to stay, he said, and therefore he urged all Ghanaians to prepare and adapt the institutionalized measures put in place on how to live with the virus in good health and imitate the socio-economic impact.
I will summarize and conclude saying the following. COVID-19 pandemic is ongoing active in a number of countries, including Ghana. Ghana started the year 2000 preparing for COVID-19 at the time we had an alert based on what was happening in Wuhan, China. At a point in time, we moved from our preparedness mode to response when on the 12th of March, we confirmed our first case. We immediately from preparedness to response mode, and a number of interventions and response actions were put in place, which includes border closure, restriction in social gathering, social and physical distancing, the use of face masks, enhanced hand hygiene, enhanced respiratory hygiene, and others. These are the non-pharmaceutical interventions that are key to control the pandemic as we await the discovery of vaccine and cure for this virus. The NPIs, or the non-pharmaceutical interventions, have impacted positively here in Ghana in respect with our mobility burden and also the death burden. If you compare to a lot of countries, the mobility seems to be acceptably low, and then the death toll also up to 0.5% or 5 in 1,000. Indeed, when you compare to other countries, this is acceptable. The virus is here to stay. We need to agree on which of these measures we can adapt and institutionalize for long-term use as we plan to live with the virus in good health and imitate the socio-economic.
Meanwhile, Dr. Patrick Abuaje has disclosed that Ghana's confirmed cases now stands at 6,964 with 2,097 recoveries and 32 deaths. He disclosed that 15 cases are severe but not on a ventilator. He said the total active case now stands at 4,835 with 800 in isolation centers.
As at 24th of May 25th, a total of 156 new cases have been recorded in Ghana. And this shows the new trend of showing much fewer cases. The cases were identified in 5 out of the 16 regions. Greater Accra contributing about 72 new cases, West Region 57, Central Region 13 cases. Volta region reported an increase in 10, and Ashanti recording probably the lowest figure ever of 4 new cases in a day. We will do more about Western region, which is becoming a new hotspot, a phenomenon that we have gotten used now. So if you go into the full details, you will see that based on all that, the total count, cumulative count in the country is 6,964 cases, out of which 2,097 have recovered, and I'll keep on saying that this is still a tip of the iceberg, because as we ramp up the thing of those who have recovered, we'll get a lot more. There are 15 cases who are severe. I'll give you details where they are. And as Dr. Bedusa Akode said, those who are critical, we don't have anybody who is in the critical position, they don't need any ventilator. We have recorded 32 deaths so far. For the confirmed cases, treatment outcomes, out of the 15 cases that I say are severe, none is on ventilator, so there's nothing, nobody is critical. We have 4 at the UGMC, that's University of Ghana Medical Center. East has 3, Ho Teaching Hospital has 1, Kolebu Teaching Hospital have 1 in their World Council 3, Kumasi has Konfanoche, and 30 Military Hospital has 1. We have about 800 people in isolation across the country. Half of that, or more than half of that, are in Accra, the Pentecost Convention Center, and the rest are in various centers, isolation centers in Ashanti, and some of them are in hotels in the rest.
Some other stories now. Parliament has commemorated the annual African Day occasion, which took place on the 25th day in May under the theme Silencing the Guns, Creating a Conducive Conditions for Africans' Development. The Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Honorable Shirley Ayokobocho, yesterday on the floor of Parliament delivered the commemoration speech, of which she called on the AU and its members to advance development on the African continent.
We began the year 2020 with confidence and great aspiration that the Africa we want could be attained if we pursue our objectives strategically and with passion. We therefore maintained Silencing the Guns, Creating Conducive Conditions for Africa's Development as the theme of the Union. This is a theme that the Union has maintained for 3 consecutive years to reflect Africa's determination to end all wars, civil conflicts, gender-based violence, and prevent genocide in the continent by the end of 2020. The object of this is to create a conducive environment for economic growth and prosperity. Mr. Speaker, we mark the 2020 Africa Day in the shadows of the novel coronavirus pandemic, which has swept across the world, including the continent. Even in an era of a challenging pandemic, Africa remains confident and dynamic in the pursuit of its aspirations for a better future for its citizens. African countries are applying technology and innovation to unleash great potentials for its development, as well as to address the challenges of climate change. African economies are also becoming integrated with the coming into force of the African Continental Free Trade Area.
Some members of parliament contributing to the statement also called for conscious plans to be put in place to rescue the African continent.
The umbrella of the AU, which can do a lot of magic and have a lot of impact in fighting this COVID. Speaker, let me say that the African continent, rightly or wrongly, is an agrarian continent. Compared to the other continent, Africa is an agrarian continent. So concerns about food sufficiency and food security cannot be glossed over. And so the continent cannot leave this to individual countries to get prepared in fighting the effect of the COVID. We want to see the AU building a conscious and a clear overarching plan to rescue the continent from the plowed hands of food sufficiency and food security, and that can be done.
impact is very wide. The minister has talked about the economic impact. There is also the impact on other facets, on education, for example. Should schools be reopened? At what level? As the World Health Organization advises that we learn to live with the virus, what measures do we put in place? How can we ensure, Mr. Speaker, that we leverage on technology, for example? One of the lessons we should learn from this pandemic is that we should invest heavily in technology. If we do that, many can continue to keep jobs working at home. Many can continue to study online. Many can continue to use artificial intelligence, for example, to expand their businesses, especially as we usher in the Africa Continental Free Trade Area.
Foreign Affairs for attending to the House this morning and briefing us and sharing with us this morning. Indeed, Africa must look within Africa as we struggle to deal with COVID-19 issues and problems, both now and in the future. Areas of agric, local industries, and self-sufficiency should be dealt with more directly in view of the present global lessons.
Meanwhile, the Speaker of Parliament, Professor Honorable Michael Aaron Okwe, has intimated that testing of the honorable members and parliamentary staffs and the media is mandatory. He noted that all and sundry must ensure that they take part the exercise to avoid application of sanctions. In view of this, Right Honorable Speaker disclosed that testing exercise would again commence on Thursday through to Friday.
Of the leadership that it is mandatory for every member of parliament, every staff of parliament to test for COVID-19. The press corps must also submit themselves to testing. Honorables, further to the tests taken last week, it is imperative to inform that we should take this matter very seriously. In this connection, on Thursday and on Friday, the team has been recalled to Parliament. They will come right here to test members, staff, media, etc. Please, the decision is that in our collective interest, it is mandatory. Please, don't wait till we get to the stage of applying sanctions. Elaborate steps are being taken to ensure the observation of all appropriate protocols in the light of results, absolute confidentiality, and professionalism in handling all cases, negative and positive. Please, let us be advised accordingly.
Director of Public Affairs, Mrs. Kate Ado, at a press briefing, demands claims that some honorable members as well as parliamentary staff have tested positive for COVID-19. She indicated that the result of the test will not be delivered to Parliament as an institution.
Reported that 2 members of Parliament and 13 members of staff have tested positive for COVID-19 following the mandatory testing we did last week. I want to tell all of us that the tests were done and the results were going to be or are going to be confidential. The protocol is that if you are testing, if you test positive, you will receive a call, a phone call from the National Response Team, and the team will inform you of your status, and then you follow the necessary arrangements for quarantining and then for access to medication. We haven't received any information that any member of parliament or any staff has got any such call.
The majority leader, Honorable Osei Mensah Bonsu, noted that his claims are nothing but speculations.
As the director has said, I can indicate to you that what we agreed to do was that anybody who tested positive, information would not be transmitted to all of us. I mean, it's between the person and the people who did the test. Some confidentiality is required in these matters, and we needed to be very circumspect. The reason why we decided to do this. And so, as I sit here with you, perish the thought, if Kate has tested positive, I wouldn't know. If the clerk has, if I have, they wouldn't know. So it's part of the agreement that we all came to. So nobody knows whether anybody has tested positive.
Medical Director for Parliament, Dr. Prince Pambo, also iterated that the result of the test is between the individual and the health official and not Parliament.
Beyond offering this platform for samples to be taken and taken to whichever lab to run, we in Parliament do not have any control over that anymore. So what simply happened, like majority leader just stated, the release of results is then between the individual and the testing centers or the group that came to do sample taking. So as an institution, we do not play any role.
Meanwhile, the clerk to Parliament, Mr. Cyril Kwabena Otenginsia, has called on everyone to ensure they conduct the test to aid combat the coronavirus.
On this note, I would like to invite all of you who intend to continue coming to the House and to cover proceedings of the House to come on Thursday and Friday. Testing is being arranged. Testing is continuing. So anybody who has not been tested but comes into the premises here, whether you are a staff of Parliament, a member of Parliament, a person from the media, you are required to be tested so that you can continue to come here. Now, if you are tested, when the results come, we are also not going to, you will be called directly, and nobody will publish your name or your media house as having been being the persons who are infected.
The Greater Accra Regional Minister, Honorable Ishmael Ashite, has urged a new government chair to use his executive power to ensure prevalence of peace and unity among the Gars. According to him, misunderstanding and dispute has divided the Gar people apart, making it difficult for the Gar land and its people to develop.
The Greater Accra Regional Minister, Honorable Ishmael Ashite, has today paid a visit to the Gar Traditional Council to acknowledge and show his pleasure to the gazetted new Gar Manche, King Taki Tekochu II. To him, it is his pleasure for the people of Gars to have a new king after long-standing disputes. Honorable Ishmael Ashite, in his speech, I urge the new king to ensure that all standing disputes should be resolved for unity to prevail on the Gar land.
So dispute has divided gangs apart. I am delighted that a new king has been enthroned. If gangs should settle issues among each other, children won't be seen on the streets without acquiring formal education. I would like to urge the new government to cooperate with all commercial entities, financial institutions and all businesses in Greater Accra to ensure development in the Ghana state. I would also like to urge chiefs, elders and the king to make sure that the people of Ghana embrace peace and unity as it has been before for a better change and development.
Dr. Tetekwe II, the principal kingmaker, gave his speech at the gathering.
Well, what you saw today is a total recognition by all, including the governance of the Ghana state. When I'm talking about governance, I'm talking about the regional minister, the deputy regional minister, and all their supporting staff throughout the whole of the Ghana state who actually came along to take a look at the new Gamanche, King Dr. Teku II, and to acknowledge him as such. As you can see, the regional minister, the deputy, and all the rest are here today to give a unique acknowledgement to the fact that we have a Gamanche, and all the upheavals in the Ghana state must cease. We're looking for unique education for our people, for our children, a future education for the girl child. Not only the girl child, but the gentlemen who are coming up as well. It's very, very, very important for all enterprises here in Accra to realize that we have a Gamanche and they must all come to assist. They are on our land. We're not asking for anything extraordinary, but we're asking for coordination.
That's it for me this morning on the news. We'll bring you update of these stories in our primetime bulletin. Meanwhile, you can visit our website www.adoatv.online.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again on tomorrow. But till then, stay with us on AM Ghana Show as we deliberate on real issues bothering Ghana. Good morning.